Hey, we're back. It's another episode of Stage Door, a theater podcast hosted by a couple of average guys. I'm Kyle with Tom today, and we have another episode of Starring Role, which of course is people from Toledo, Northwest Ohio, Southeast Michigan, who are going off and making themselves like professionals in the industry. Today, we have Sara Sheperd. She is pretty well known around the area as somebody who's done some stuff, and she's kind of a big deal. But I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to say what she does. I want her to come on. I want her to tell us what you do. So hey, let's do this. Hey, Sara, how you doing? Where are you at right now? What city are you in?
Hi, I'm great. I am currently in New York City. We have a week off from tour, so I am at home chilling. You
get to have a whole week off, and they're not gonna put you to work for at least 5 days, or is it 7 days?
7 days exactly. I have a show Monday night, so
okay.
I'm gonna till then.
All right, cool. So we want to know everything about your whole life. Obviously, we want to go back in time. We want to start from when you're a baby boy, back when you're a baby girl, obviously, and what you're doing. But first thing we want to do is we want to establish why you're kind of a big deal. What are you doing that is like the biggest deal that everybody should know about?
Sure. Well, I'm currently playing Carole King in Beautiful, the Carole King Musical on tour right now, which is pretty exciting. Not pretty exciting, very exciting. And I was a part of the original Broadway cast for its entire run, which was about 6 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah, really, really cool.
It is. Well, that's why we wanted to have you on, obviously, is because we want you to be an inspiration. We want you to be an inspiration for these young people out there who are think that maybe someday, I know I only live in like Sylvania, and nobody from Sylvania is going to come ever and ever be on Broadway, but we got lots of people from this area who are actually doing it. So that's why we wanted to talk to people just like yourself.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, there are a lot of people from our area that are currently working in the industry, which is exciting and awesome.
Yes, it is. So we're going to go way back now. We're going to go all the way back to when you were little, okay, and talk about that. And when did you start? When did you start in musical theater, start singing and dancing?
Yeah, so I started when I was 5, and my sister and I, who Amelia Lefevre.
Yes, that is your true claim to fame in the area, is that you are the sister of Amelia Lefevre, who happens to be the theater director at Toledo School for the Arts.
Yes, absolutely.
The true star of the family.
Wow.
Yes. But she really did sort of like help pave the way for me. She made my life a lot easier as I sort of grew up. So very grateful to her for that. But she and I started at these Saturday morning classes at the Toledo Rep Theater, where we would sing and dance and act and do art. And my mom actually started teaching art classes as a part of the program. So that's where I sort of initially got bit by the bug.
Yeah.
And also my dad is a musician. He plays the piano. His bachelor's is in music. Oh, nice. So I come from an artistic family, which is pretty great. So it was sort of already in the bone, or in the blood.
Yeah.
But it was definitely at the Rep at a very young age that I started to really kind of like just love the idea of being on stage and performing.
Very cool. You're a Rep kid. Exactly. You did all the little young Rep groups and all that.
What was your first Rep show?
Oh, God, I think it was a production of Snow White, I'm sure when I was like 5.
Nice. You were 5, so you played the apple probably, right?
I think it was like a bird or something, like something really excellent. But then I did a Christmas Carol basically every year for like, I don't know, 12 years or
something. That's what you do, man. That's what my family did. We did it forever. Exactly.
Yeah.
Kicks off the holiday season, man.
Oh, yeah. It was the best. And then, when I got into high school, I started playing sports, so it got a little more challenging. But I definitely did it all the way up through, I think, my freshman year of high school.
Which high school?
Yeah.
Which one?
Which high school?
Yes.
Whitmer High School.
Cool. So, but you were doing the young Rep stuff, and you were working at that, and you're playing the apple in the show, and then you moved up, I assume, and started doing some other stuff. Did you mostly just do the summer shows, or did you just do it year round, or?
Oh God, yeah. Basically any show the Rep did, I was trying to be in it. I was doing it.
Yeah.
And both my parents were very involved with the theater. My mom would help with the sets and costumes, and my dad sometimes musical directed shows.
Wow.
Both my sister and I were in them, so it was like a whole,
Would you have any other siblings besides Amelia?
No, just
Yeah.
Amelia.
See, so both of you two are there. What the heck are your parents supposed to do? They might as well be there too, right? It's
Yeah,
like they have to drive you in. You're little. I mean, you can't drive, so they're there, and so
it's what they love to do too,
Yeah,
So
awesome. So like we're here now. Let's just help out a little bit. That is the theater parent life. I know it very well. So.
Yeah. Totally. And then so I was in all of those shows, and then Whitmer, which was so cool. So obviously my sister wasn't doing this as well,
right?
And she got to Whitmer. The shows were just the musicals were absolutely insane. They were so good. Brad Faust was the director.
Very
he
cool.
became principal. Yeah, he was the shows were just so excellent for high school productions. The quality of the show, the set design, like it was next level. So I, of course, got to see Amelia in those as I was growing up, and we would take, field trips, I think, to see them as well in school. And then, so when I got to school, of course, I wanted to be a part of it. And that was sort of a huge, jumping stone. What's the saying?
Yeah,
like that
lily pad for you to jump off. Exactly.
Yeah,
Stepping
exactly.
stone. There you go. Yeah.
What's the saying?
That's okay. We know them all. We'll cover you. We're good.
Exactly. You just fill that in for me.
Yeah.
So I started to do the musicals there in the spring and also the fall play, and then I played basketball in the winter. So like my school year was pretty like stocked of I did theater and then sports and then theater again. And then
so you were very fortunate, obviously, to go to a high school where the theater program was high. That was going to push you. Then is what you're saying, right?
Oh yeah.
So you go and you're doing the great community theater to Toledo Rep, but then you go into a program. Now you're getting older. Now you got to step it up, baby. Start getting better or move on. Go join the basketball team. So.
And it was amazing too. I just have to add this in because I think it's so unique. But it was really, really cool how my the director and my basketball coach actually.
Oh, you did play basketball. I just randomly grabbed a sport.
I played basketball in the winter, and it was amazing that they actually worked. They let me, because there was a little bit of overlap, as the spring musical started to rehearse. Yeah. We were still in the season. And they were so, so great about me, maybe coming late to a rehearsal here or late to a practice. And they really let me sort of experience all of what I was able to experience in high school versus, saying, nope, sorry, you can't be here for all this. You can't do it.
We got other people more committed. We'll put them in. Yeah.
That's terrific
really
to hear.
Grateful for that.
Yeah.
And then, so definitely it was my freshman year of high school. I remember thinking, I think I want to do this. And at this point, Amelia, she's 4 years ahead of me. She was going to write state in musical theater.
Oh, okay.
But she was already at school for musical theater. So I already had the idea that this is something you can do as a career.
She did literally pave the way for you then, it sounds like. She kept doing these things first, and you're like, oh, maybe that. Oh, maybe that.
Oh, she played basketball, too. When I tell you, she just, made the road, and I was just like, cool, I'll just be right behind you doing the thing. So that's
big sisters.
It was great.
Yeah.
And then, so freshman year, I was thinking, wow, okay, I think I want to do this. I think I can do this. But you have to realize too, it's such a mental shift, and even pretty young at the age of 15 to realize I want to do this as a career versus it's a hobby that is really important to me. That's a pretty big
that's huge difference.
Mental shift. Yeah. But anyway, that was initially where I was starting to feel that my freshman year. So then, as I get older in high school, I the same feelings are coming. I'm going to go to school for musical theater. And I had you start auditioning, I think, junior year.
Yeah, nobody crushed you, though. Nobody said, what are you doing? This is theater. What are you doing? You should be going off and being a doctor. Or you should go off and be a teacher, something practical. Do something that everybody else is doing in life. You want to go off and be this star? Nobody said that to you?
No, never.
What?
Never.
That's
Thank
awesome.
I know. I mean, thank God. Like, like I said, both my parents were artists. So I just think they was like, do what you love. And like,
not even your basketball coach. Your basketball coach is like, nah, hang it up, man.
No,
That's good. That's amazing.
I mean, I sang the national anthem for basically every home game.
No way. No way.
At Whitmer or at Wright State?
Oh, no, at Whitmer.
Yeah. So you would be in your basketball uniform in the middle of the floor singing. And then walk over to the bench.
Picture, yes.
Love it.
That would.
Do you have a picture of that? I'd love to see a picture of that.
I do somewhere. I bet I could send it.
That'd be great.
I do. Yeah. So then I started auditioning. Yeah, my junior year I applied to 4 schools, mostly in state, a couple out of state that I knew that would give like good scholarships.
Right.
And I ended up getting accepted to Cincinnati Conservatory of Music, CCM.
It's amazing school.
Yeah.
Still has a really great reputation.
Yeah, a great school for musical theater. So I was super stoked about that. And I knew that's where I wanted to go. But then the really cool thing was this was winter of my senior year. Oh God, this is actually a really fun story. So
good. We like fun stories.
I was in the band. I played the flute. And we were away. We were at States.
Wait, see how she just glazed over that real fast. And I also play an instrument.
I mean, not so much
I put the ball down. I picked up the flute. I played that at halftime. I sang the national anthem ahead of time. Oh my gosh! Go ahead. I'm sorry. Your fun story.
No, it's okay. I don't want. Yeah. So we were away at States, and my dad came to watch, and he had seen. He got there super early and saw it there was like a bulletin board, and there was this paper up that said NFAA, National Foundation for the Advancement of the Arts. Basically apply and you could get a scholarship, and it's a week. You basically spend a week away in Miami sort of doing this training thing. And he just sort of took the paper and was like, oh, this is interesting. So we looked it up, and I sent in a video. So they basically accept a bunch of students in different disciplines. So you have musical theater, musicians, writers, what else?
All the creative stuff,
all the creative, all of it.
And you had to send in a video, huh? What year was this, may I ask?
So this is 2003, 4, somewhere in there.
2003, 4, okay.
And so we went to the studio. I made this video. I think I had to send in 2 songs and a monologue, I think.
I was going to say studio. That's what I wanted to know. It's like what the year was, because like, was this a difficult process to send in a video, or was it last week and I could just shoot it on my iPhone?
Yeah, different than now for sure. Well, luckily my dad obviously plays the piano, so he accompanied me.
Nice.
And went to like a recording studio. Like a friend of his had a studio, so I did a couple takes. And honestly, at this point, like I didn't really know much about it. I was just like, yeah, okay, whatever. We'll send in this video. Okay, great. So,
it was your dad's idea anyway.
Yeah, I was just like, hey,
I'll
whatever.
just do it. Yeah, sure.
So we send it in, and I don't think about it. And then he is like pulling out of the driveway at some point a couple weeks later, and the mailman like stops him, and he's like, and gives him this package, and it's NFAA, and I've been accepted to go to this thing for a week. And of course, my initial thought is like, oh my God, I'm going to miss the game versus Clay. Like, big rivals. I'm like, no, I can't miss the Clay game. And then I realized, come to realize, I'm like, okay, no, I need to go. I have to go do this.
Yeah.
So this was my first time, flying alone. I was 18, flew to Miami, and I had the most spectacular, incredible, life-affirming week in Miami.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah. It was amazing.
See what I said there? I didn't even realize that I said beautiful. Exactly. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and that's sort of, I already knew at that point I was going to school for musical theater, but that week was really like the first time I was just around people my age that were doing what I wanted to do. And it was just so affirming to be like, oh yeah, this is where I want to be.
Was it because of the other kids that you were like, oh, I'm not like really different? There's so many of us that are cool like this too. Or was it because you were just really good, and you were like, I smashed all these people. Which one was it?
No, I definitely think it was the people. I think, and then we were getting master classes from like Anthony Rapp was there to train us, and God, it's been so long. Ken Washington, who is an actor, teacher, director person, but it was those like masterclass moments that really was like, wow. And then from that week, so that week is the only place you can be nominated to become a presidential scholar in the arts. So, you have academic presidential scholars, and then you have presidential scholars in the arts. So the only way to be nominated for that is to go to this week in Miami. And I got nominated for that, and I won. There was 3 theater people that won, and I was one of them, and I got to perform at the Kennedy Center my senior year. So it was just kind of this moment of like, wow, okay, you're on the right path. Like,
I would be affirmed as well. I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm totally doing this, man. This is clearly is what I'm doing.
Yeah, and it was a blast. And then I went to school at Cincinnati, and that was wild. I had a great experience there.
So when you got to Cincinnati, I'm going to slow you down here. When you got to Cincinnati now you're in school, you picked a school that you wanted to go to. They actually loved you back and told you to come to their program. Obviously, that's a big deal. Now you're there, and you're with like these college kids. Were you just like all in, everything was great, or were you nervous? Was there a problem at all? Were you just like, oh my gosh, these people?
I just dove in head first. It was exactly what I like.
Nice.
To go to classes where you're just like, oh, we're learning about all the things I want to learn about. I get to sing in 3 classes. I get to dance. I get to go to a dance class, every day. Like, it was absolutely magical to me that this was like what my quote unquote school was.
You're like, I'm living the dream, baby. I can't believe this.
It was the best. It was the best.
Somewhere along the way, you had to learn how to play piano, I believe, right?
Well, I can play chords. I can play scales. But what you're seeing in Beautiful is really me. I'm playing, but everything you're hearing is really coming from the pit.
Gotcha.
So basically, what I've kind of learned is placement and rhythm. So it looks very much like I'm, the one. Yeah,
very cool.
Doing it all.
Do they remove the strings out of the piano then? So you're not actually hitting anything.
No. Just tell us you know how to play it, and that's you doing it. That's what I want to hear.
She's a master of all, Tom. She can do it
That's
all.
What
baby.
I thought. That's what I thought.
God, it would be amazing to actually be able to accompany myself, but unfortunately.
So you're in Cincinnati. You're having a great time. You're loving life again. You're like, man, I cannot believe that this is what I'm doing. So, and then you make obviously a lot of great friends. And you have a good time and instructors and stuff. So,
absolutely, did some great musicals.
And then when you go from Cincinnati, then how did you end up going to anything? How did you become the person who lives in New York now? Because right after college, I assume you just went out and you got job after job, right? That's what happened?
No.
That's not what happened. Okay.
Twists and turns all around here, but although I was very lucky, so right after we it's funny enough, we graduate, but we leave school early. Our spring semester, or our spring quarter, to go do a showcase in New York for agents and casting directors.
Oh, nice! That's what Cincinnati does. That's a great thing. Obviously,
yeah, it was awesome. So I got an agent from that, which was very cool. And then I ended up booking. I booked my first Broadway show, Cry Baby, based on Cry Baby the musical, sorry, Cry Baby the movie.
No, I know
it.
That. Yeah, that's the guy from 21 Jump Street.
Johnny Depp.
Yeah, there we go. The pirate.
Yeah.
I knew I catch up eventually.
So I booked that, but funny enough, I did 12 shows and then the show closed.
Oh, no.
Very brief.
But you did get that fairly quick out of college?
I got it. I know this is going to sound like I'm like
totally obnoxious. Yeah, I know.
It was 3 weeks after my show.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so but don't get me wrong. I know, I was very, very lucky. Yeah. It's just so many things have to align for you to actually get the job. If you knew how many no's I've heard, you'd be like, oh, okay.
Give me a number. How many no's? 2, 3, 300?
Oh God, at least 300.
Oh,
I mean,
geez, yeah.
all the time you'd get denied, just all the time. How many, I've been in, and you're just like, no, or you don't hear anything. I mean, it's like endless.
Okay,
but
that's good. They need to hear that too. People need to hear that too. Yeah. So because right now you've made it sound like it's a piece of cake. I'm not gonna lie. You're like I won this award in at the national thing. I got this thing over here. People are bending over backwards for me over here. Now they need to hear that it wasn't all icing. Some of it was rough. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel lucky that I had sort of these like affirming moments early on to say, this is what you should be doing, because then when it got hard, which it got harder even after Crybaby, I went on the tour of Legally Blonde for like about a year.
Oh.
But then after that, I could not book a job for like a year and a half. Like could not book a job. So I worked at the W in Times Square. I worked at the front desk, checking people in, checking people out.
The
for about
W,
a year
is that a hotel then? Is that what that is?
Yeah, W Hotel.
No, okay. We're in Toledo. We don't know that stuff. Yeah.
Oh my God!
Remember, you're the big person.
She's
in
so
New York.
far away.
We don't know what the W is. Okay.
Oh my God! Actually, it's a pretty cool hotel if you're getting.
I'll walk in. I'll be like, I'm sorry. I thought Sarah was supposed to be working the front desk. I'm not.
I know.
I can't be in the right place.
No. Yeah. So it was a moment of like, oh God, like, wow, I cannot book anything.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I never had this moment of, like, I'm done. I don't know. I was just like, no, you just keep going. You just keep grinding. Like, I never had that voice say to me, like, I think you're done here, which I give so much credit, like even to my sister. Like she and Jared were living in New York for a chunk of time, and she was auditioning, and she went on a tour as well. And eventually, though, she was like, I'm good here. Like I'm done. I want to go back to Ohio, and we want to have a family. And I just gave her so much credit for just kind of knowing and like trusting her gut that was what needed to happen for her in her life. Because I think that can be hard for people. It
is a hard decision for anybody when it comes to anything like that. Look at all these athletes who are just don't know when the hell to retire, right? They're just going and going and going. It's like, retire, man. Come on.
Oh my God, absolutely. It's time.
But it's what you've done your whole life, so it's just what you know. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but I never, that voice kind of never crept up on me, even as hard as it got. I was working 2 jobs or whatever, but so then, and then I had done some regional theater here and there, but then thank God I booked Beautiful, which was like the biggest blessing ever. And the fact that the show ran as long as it did, like I just never ever expect anything to run, just because of my first experience of doing 12 shows and then the show closing. So I was like, okay, like it'll be what it'll be. But then it ran for 6 years, which was incredible.
So how did you go about getting that to begin with?
Yeah, it's just through your agent. Your agent hook you up with these things, these regionals, and through the stuff.
They got me appointments, and I went in and auditioned. And like I said, a lot of times heard no, but certainly heard some yeses, which was excellent. But the audition process for Beautiful was kind of interesting. It was definitely the longest one I think I've had. I went in and sang for the musical supervisor first, and then he sort of sent me on to the next thing. I came in and read for the director, who I actually knew from Legally Blonde. He had cast me in that, which is great.
Yeah, that always is a helpful hint. Yeah, it's a helpful bonus, right?
Helpful. Yep. And then I was sort of getting the feel that maybe they were looking at me for a swing, because I was reading a bunch of different parts. But also you have to realize with a new show, it's like they don't even necessarily know what the show is. So they're kind of just like throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks and like how things are going to track out.
So this was a new show. Okay, that's
Brand
even
new.
More exciting.
Yeah.
So nobody knows the music. Nobody knows. Well, they know.
Well, they know the music.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's a bad example, but they don't know how it's going to be done or anything. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, brand spanking new.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's awesome. That's awesome. Crazy is what it is. Yeah.
Definitely. But then it was like a couple months kind of went by, and it was like, you're in the mix. You're like, oh God, okay, I don't know what that means. And then I ended up going in for a final callback. And when I tell you, I've never been in a room with so many people for a final callback. It was like 4 long tables full of people, which I think now at this point was like the people that represent, Carole and Jerry Goffin, who's, was her first husband, who's in the show, and Barry Mann and Cynthia Wiles people. So basically these people who are real people, their representation was there and sort of needed to sign off on everybody. So there were so many people in this room.
Wow.
And I was just like, oh God, okay. Let's go well. And
no pressure. It's half the amount of an actual Broadway audience probably sitting in the room listening to you.
Yeah. I was just like, this is so nuts. But then I got a call, and they cast me, and we started rehearsals in August of 2013, and then we went to San Francisco for about 6 weeks and did the show out of town, and then we came to Broadway, and I guess the rest is kind of history with that.
No, it's not history. No. So first of all, when you were in this room with all of these people, did you at least feel a little confident? Like, oh my gosh, they wouldn't have all these people here if I wasn't maybe,
Yeah, I felt. I mean, it's one of those things though, where it's a final callback, so it's not like it's just a given that it's you by any means.
Right. But it's only one position basically, so you're going to be it or not. Yeah.
Yeah, but I kept thinking, like, just do what I did in my last callback with the director. And, they want me to do what I did for them for all of these people. So, like, just be confident in the work you put into that audition and apply it here. And, there's only so much you can control in an audition, right? Like, it's like I was saying before, so many things have to align for it to go your way. So I did the best I could. I put in the work, and it just happened to go my way. And it certainly doesn't always happen, but it did swing my way that time. And I'm,
you said swing that way. Is that what you were? You did get the swing.
I was a swing.
There you go.
I was.
So initially you were the swing in the show.
Yes. I was a swing.
And please explain what that means, because a lot of people won't know what that means. What is a swing?
So I was not on stage every night. I covered as an understudied 4 different parts in the show. I understudied Carole King, her mother, Genie Klein, and there was 2 white ensemble women in the show, and I understudied both of them. And then I was also the dance captain. So everybody that came into the show, I taught them the show.
Gotcha. So a swing is somebody who's just going to play a million parts. That's what the swing does?
Yeah. Yeah, you're responsible for usually a lot of different parts. Yeah.
Right. So when the person playing Carole King gets a night off, you step in.
Yep.
Awesome.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very, very cool. See, so you were performing as Carole King, sometimes as the swing then.
Yeah.
All right. See? So you were ready when it was time to step the lead in then, right?
Yeah, and it was like this incredible, like, full circle moment when that call came in. It was, I think, summer of 2021, and they were like, "Do you want to do this?" And I was just like, "Wait, what? Yes, like, yes, I want to do this."
You didn't want to say no? Do people say no to stuff like that?
I mean, I guess depending on what the contract looks like or whatever. But I was just so beyond thrilled that was going to happen. Yeah, it was a hard yes for me.
yes. And now Tom is here because Tom is a huge Carole King fan, so he's been chomping at the bit over.
I'm a music fan in general, but no, I still believe Tapestry is still one of the 10 greatest albums in the history of music, basically.
Totally.
And but she's done more than just that. So in the process of doing Carole King, how far back do they go? Obviously, when they meet, Goffin and Carole King meet, or is it before that even? Because she actually went to high school with somebody pretty famous, I believe.
Yeah, it starts just right before that, I guess you could say. But really, you meet her at 16, where she meets Jerry, and in Queens College. And we sort of start to see their relationship blossom, and we start to see the songs that they wrote together that for other artists, like the Shirelles and the Drifters. Right. And that was sort of what really put them on the map. And it's still like mind-boggling to me that these people at such a young age, like 16 and 18 or 18 and 20, that they're writing songs like "Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow?" I mean,
that is insane.
Yeah,
are you kidding?
That's been covered many, many times. Well, did you go to high school with like Neil Sedaka or something?
Yeah, they dated for a hot
second. That's right.
Oh my gosh. See,
Carole is about Carole.
That's right.
Oh, Carole. That's about Carole.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Fantastic.
And you're right, though. These brain power of somebody who was 16, 17, 18 to come up with any of this stuff. And I'm embarrassed to even say what I was thinking about at 16, 17, 18.
So don't say it.
You're not alone.
It's not PG. So we basically talk about it. But you're coming to town, obviously, soon. So you'll be back in town in Toledo, and anybody who's listening to this needs to get their butt over there and come and see you because it's you. And I assume the family's all going to be there.
Oh, yeah. The Lefevre fam will be there.
This is going to be a tough ticket to get hold of, I got the feeling.
It might be a tough ticket to get a hold of, yeah.
Because it's only one night, I believe.
It is. It's only one night. March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. So
St. Patrick's Day also?
Oh, well, we know where the after party will be.
Yeah.
All through downtown Toledo.
They'll be on a bus going to the next cities where they're going to be, right?
Yeah, exactly. We actually, seriously, we go to the next city like the next morning. So it will be brief. Yeah. So
Toledo-y stuff right now, I just want to let you know that I got to enjoy some Buckeyes that you purchased. So I know you had bought some Buckeyes that were supposed to be for your cast. And then you couldn't get them, so they went to your sister, and then my moocher son grabbed some. So I was like, yeah.
So good.
I was like, Gabe was the man. Thank you for bringing these home.
Yeah, they were excellent. Yes. They were so excellent. I know.
And you still come back.
I enjoy them.
Yeah, oh, heck yeah. They're Buckeyes. Who can't enjoy a Buckeye, right? So you come back quite often, though, still, and you do support a lot of the Toledo people still. Like, I know you come and see your sister's shows a ton. Like, a ton.
Yeah.
And, for somebody as big time as you, it's kind of a nice thing that you come back. And I know that the kids who are in the TSA, since I have had a couple of them that are in the theater program, when you are coming to the show, they are pretty stoked. They're like,
oh, that's really kind. I mean, I don't really consider myself a big deal, but by any means, but it's like, of course, like if I am not in a show and I can get back, I definitely want to come see the stuff that TSA especially puts on, because I think Amelia is just like next level amazing. And the students are incredible, that like the work that they do is awesome.
And it's exciting. I'm like, oh, there she is. She's over there, guys. And I bet your sister goes back and tells them she's here tonight. Everybody be really good. Yeah. Be really good.
Don't mess up, okay?
Now, did you perform with the Toledo Symphony at one point?
I did not. That was supposed
to
happen in the pandemic.
COVID?
Hit. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
it was such a bummer.
They have
Tim
to redo
Chu and I
that.
were going to do something. Yeah.
And you came back though, and you do workshops with the schools and stuff too, because I'm again proud dad moment here, but you got to sing with my son and Lily Buck. So Gabe Omler and Lily Buck got to sing with you, and you brought somebody else back with you too. I was like, who is
Nicholas? Nicholas Rodriguez.
Nicholas Rodriguez. Yeah, and I'm like, look at these just big time people here that these students get to perform with. And I just think stuff like that is just amazing. That that's theater though. I feel like I get a lot of that feeling from theater people, where they're just appreciative and grateful for where they are and what's going on. You guys don't forget us little guys. It's nice.
No, yeah, and I think moments like that. When I had moments like that as a young person, like that meant so much to me. And I love being able to, I don't know, help inspire or, just be able to perform with people that age. I just think it's cool and exciting. And I love seeing the young talent too. It's exciting.
I need to know, is there a song that you specifically like in the beautiful guest that you perform?
Oh God, I've heard this music now for like 8 years consistently, and I love them all. I know that sounds so ridiculous, but my favorite to sing every night is Beautiful at the very end of the show.
Gotcha. Is that because you know the show's over?
I'm just like, honestly, maybe like 10%.
Not gonna lie.
No, it's my favorite lyric in the show, and it's the final number, and it's truly just like a rock out moment with the audience, and it's just like super exciting, and I get to pound on those keys of the grand piano. It's awesome.
Have you had a chance to meet Carole?
Yes, I've met her a few times.
Oh, nice.
And I will tell you, I tell everybody, she's exactly what you want her to be. I mean, she is exactly what you think she would be just from hearing her music. She's just grounded and open and down to earth and salt of the earth, and she's amazing. She's amazing.
That's what I want to hear. That's fantastic.
Yep. I know yep. You always want to hear those people that you know, you're like, what are they actually like? But she's exactly what you think she would be.
So for the youngsters out there, they should not even try to get into musical theater in college, right? And do this for a living.
Never. Just never. Don't even try. No.
Really?
I say if your gut and your soul is saying you want to go for it, you got to go for it. You don't want any regrets, you know?
I agree.
I say you got to listen to that voice of yours.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on. I messaged you back and forth, and then first of all, I'm always like, oh, she responded. I already feel special that she responded. Okay, now let's go from there and see if she'll actually talk back some more. She's still talking to me. Oh my gosh. Because I know
it's my pleasure.
Well, I just randomly send you a message. I don't know what the heck's going to happen when I do that to people. So.
Oh no. Yeah, if I see it, I will definitely respond to you.
Right, I know I'm sliding right into your junk mail. That's what I was afraid of. So I'm like, oh boy. Well, it's not like I have her personal number here or anything. So here we go. Fire that message off.
But when this podcast is over, will she still love us tomorrow?
Oh.
Oh, nice.
Right.
I had to get one in.
Yeah, we might have to end on that one though. That's great. That was good. All right, well, go do your awesome New Yorkie life. You know, you don't have to check anybody in, and I can't wait for you to come into town, obviously. And I'm sure you'll have an army of people that are going to want to come and see you.
Thank you. I really cannot wait. I think it's going to be a blast. I'm so
great. Bye.
Bye.
All right, that's it. Another episode of Stage Door. Hopefully you had a good time listening to this podcast. I know we had a great time talking to Sara and seeing her entire journey and what she's doing now. If you guys did, hey man, how about you go over to all these little social media places and give us 5 stars and tell people that you listen to the podcast and that they should go listen to it too. All right, thank you. Bye.